this past weekend, we're having some great banter back and forth with somebody that we all know very, very well, Todd Conklin. And, I'm so grateful to call him my mentor, a friend, a boss, all those different things. And we kind of got into a fierce conversation. And Todd knows every which way to press my buttons. And he knows that it'll just pull something else out of me, like to the point where yeah, I got it. You never have to say it again. But he did it to me again. He did it to me while I was in the parking lot of the grocery store, of all places, right? So we're kind of going back and forth. And this is what I told him in paraphrasing. He goes, basically, I said, I swear I'm being tested from time to time on how I respond to a certain situation, or what to say or what not to say, basically, is what he was pulling out of me. Like, Jeff, start speaking up a little bit more in this field because this is your arena. And his response was, because again, I felt like I was being tested. He goes, you are being tested, or you're being prepared. And sometimes that feels a lot like being tested. And we kind of went back and forth. And basically the long and the short was, will you stand up for what, to fight? Are you going to win? Or are you going to sit in the background and just let people, this is how he gets to me, analogies. Are you going to let people in the cheap seats make big boy decisions? People in the cheap seats at the football game or at the baseball game making front row decisions. So like I said, he knows how to rattle my cage. Like, this is on a Saturday, for crying out loud. So my brain just starts going 1,000 miles an hour. And I'm thinking to myself, how can I take this story that was directed at me, right? And how can I relay this from a Mindset Monday? Because this was all about mindset. This is me saying, hey, it's about time you do this, Jeff, right? Like that kind of aha moment. And so my question is, do you feel you're being tested day in and day out? Or what are you being prepared for in the future? So I got 4 things on my screen here. So being prepared enhances discipline. Yes, discipline. Every single day, there's 5 things we need to do every single day in real estate. First and foremost, most important, prospecting. We've talked about this 1,000 times. Then marketing, education, showing property, writing contracts, being disciplined, showing up every single day to do the one thing that is really, really uncomfortable until it's not. Secondly, being prepared enhances our strategic thinking. Not the outside of the box, not the zigging while everyone's zagging. It's, okay, what am I trying to accomplish? And this is perfect timing because we're getting into that business plan season of the year, right? Fall, colors change, snow's going to start flying. Guess what else is going to start flying from the sky? Business plans. Let's go. So thinking about some of your strategic thinking for 2022. Are you just, hey, everything's going to be hunky-dory, it's business as usual? Or is there a glaring hole within your business that if we're going 30,000 feet above, how can we fix this, change this, or continue doing, right? See, what do we always talk about? Doing, done, right? That type of a thing. So I'm going to continue to do this more. I'm done with doing this, or we have to continue, blah, 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 blah. So far we have enhances self-discipline, enhances our strategic thinking, being prepared increases our flexibility. What does this mean? Well, not everyone is as self-disciplined as we want to be, right? So Sharon would always say this, and Todd told me this. He goes, listen, if you have a calendar, okay, every minute of every day is laid out, like from a time blocking standpoint. The key is if you can live by that calendar for 70% of the time, you are like way above 95.99999% of the executives in the world. Like, you're living in that elite air. So think about living up there. Think about being just a little bit of flexible. There is that possibility that processes will sort of expand and you start looking back, you're like, golly, I've always done it this way, but that night might not be the best way of doing it. This is allowing you to sort of pivot as we continue to go. And then lastly, being prepared develops our resilience. Guys, it is a full-blown contact sport out there. If you don't think it's a contact sport, you are on another planet. You are on an absolute another planet. You're playing a different sport. This is a contact sport. Now, why do I use the word contact? Because it's all about your contacts, right? It's all about your contacts. You're going to have some days that are going to be amazing. Other days, you're going to get your butt kicked. It's all about being resilient, wearing that sort of armor, if you will, and not letting anything defeat you, deflate you, steer you wrong for at least 1 out of 24 hours of the day. Like, you are Superman and Superwoman. You are unbreakable, right? So being resilient. So discipline, strategic thinking, flexibility, and resilience. So that is what being prepared looks like. Ask yourself that question. Look yourself in the mirror and say, what am I being prepared for next? That's all I got for you, T.